Now it's my pleasure to welcome Steve West, founder, CEO of ChargeNet. Steve's company currently operates 18, maybe 19 now, 18 DC fast chargers, charging stations, with a goal, I believe, to have 40 in operation by the end of the year. So, welcome, Steve.
Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. So Sigurd challenged me to talk about something that you couldn't learn by reading our website. So there's a couple of things I want to cover. I want to talk a little bit about how ChargeNet New Zealand came to be. And again, Sigurd showed some slides demonstrating the road trip that we had been on. The first one we did was in January 2015, and it demonstrated a very real problem that we have as a country if we indeed want to transition to electric vehicles, and that's that we don't have any EV charging infrastructure to speak of. And New Zealand is a big country. I mean, certainly compared with the range of the affordable electric vehicles available today. So the road trip highlighted that problem in a very real way, and New Zealand, it's a big country. You look at State Highway 1 going from Cape Reinga to Bluff, covers about 2,000 kilometres. Now, if you're going to put in charging stations, then you're going to need to have them, say, every 75 kilometres for a Nissan Leaf, or say you're lucky enough to have a Tesla, although it has a 400 kilometre range, you still need to have them a lot closer together than that, so say every 250 k's. You end up needing somewhere between 8 charging stations and 27, depending on what kind of vehicle you want to accommodate. Of course, State Highway 1 is not enough. If you want to be able to drive anywhere in the country, then you've got to cover most of the highway network. And it turns out we've got quite a lot of highways, and so that means we need quite a lot of charging stations. So that trip inspired me to create ChargeNet. It didn't seem like anyone else was going to solve this problem. Certainly it didn't look like the government was going to do anything about it at the time. So it seemed like it needed to be private enterprise, had to step in. And so I stepped in, and here we are. Now, one of the first decisions that we made was DC fast charging was what we would focus on. And here's why. This is a very, very brief comparison of the different charging technologies available. But you've got everything from plugging in your garage and charging at 10 kilometres an hour, which is perfectly fine for most people charging at home, through to the very newest charging technologies, which are not even on the market yet. Now, if you want to enable long-distance travel, nobody is going to be able to charge at 10 or 15 or even 30 kilometres an hour. That's next to useless. What you need is to charge quickly. That means you need at least 50 kilowatts. And the other reason that we wanted to focus on DC fast charging is because AC charging is going to happen. People need to have charging in their garages. They are going to put charging in their workplaces, and it's not that is going to happen anyway. But what's not going to happen automatically is DC fast charging, because it's really, really expensive and difficult. The hardware is expensive, the electrical supply to run it is expensive, the works required to support it are expensive, so you end up, seriously spending $45,000 to $55,000 to put a DC fast charger in, and that's, you can spend a lot more than that. That's if you're being really careful. So I wanted to address a question actually that Sigurd asked. He does keep pestering me about when is Otaki going to be open and when is Featherston going to be open, and it's really a difficult question, because almost every delay that goes into opening a charging station is out of our control. There's things we do, of course, like we choose where they go, hopefully, and we approach the people that own those sites. But everything from getting electrical quotes to negotiations with the site owner, to getting, to actually having the work done, it's out of our control. And that's just a quick summary. So, you're looking at like at least 4 months from beginning to end, but sometimes over a year, depending on, how hard they negotiate. So, the answer for Sigurd is I don't know, but hopefully soon. And, yeah. So back to that earlier slide where I was talked about how many stations do you need in New Zealand, and a very approximate number would be 124 if you wanted a Leaf to be able to drive anywhere in the country. Of course, that's not necessarily practical. So we focused on the 100 or so sites that we thought were most important, and so far we've got 18 open, and we're intending to have all 100 done over a 3-year period. We're 6 or 7 months in, so we're on track, but it's a lot of work, and we hopefully get there soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.